Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursdays at 3. Your host here, Jason Crespin. Yes, it's not Annika yet. Annika will be back next week, but it is me, the old version of the host of Thursdays at 3, the ancient arc. Like I feel like the iPhone 1 version, and like Annika's like the latest awesome iPhone 20 now. But yeah, anyway, I still function. I still work, just a little slower. Hopefully everyone is having a great week. Of course, Thursday, October 12th. And full disclosure, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Technically, yes, you are viewing this on Thursday at 3 o'clock. But I am out of town, and so we did not want to miss out on our amazing cast of Chemical Imbalance being on our Thursdays at 3 this week. And so we are actually recording this yesterday. And so that's why you might not see me interact with your comments or anything like that. So it is technically not live, but still live this week. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy today's show. It's going to be a fantastic show. We have 3 of our amazing volunteers who are starring in Chemical Imbalance, a Jekyll and Hyde play. I feel like I should have like thunder or something every time I say the title of the show. But before we get to our amazing guests, I want to let you know, of course, what's going on always at ALT this week. Again, another amazing week. Currently, I am rehearsing over at the Adventure Space, a great show, Boys in the Band. We're having a great rehearsal time. Just want to remind you that season ticket holders, if you have season tickets, you can purchase your tickets starting on October 23rd. Of course, this show will run November 9th through the 19th. It's kind of fun this year. Every month we have a show. There's not much overlapping per month. So the month of November will be Boys in the Band, of course, Chemical Imbalance now in October. Don't forget, also, you can still purchase your season tickets. If you've yet to do that, season ticket prices are the best. I'm telling you, the best deal in town. Not only do you get your week advance reservation privileges, but you also, if you have to purchase more tickets, you get a discount. And it's just awesome. It's the best way to go about it. I know Annika always talks about our donating members as well. Those are also our season ticket holders. That angel membership of $350 gets you 20 admissions, plus a $50 tax deductible contribution. So again, just want to remind you, you have until December 31st to still get your season tickets or add on packages to your current season tickets. Maybe you've used them all up for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and you still want to come see some great theater. Well, you can always, of course, add on up until December 31st. Speaking of our amazing season, our next show coming about is our Academy's production of Prancer. The auditions have started, and in fact, the callbacks were yesterday. So that cast list will go up on Friday, tomorrow at noon. So break a leg. Congrats to all of the amazing Academy kiddos who auditioned for Prancer. I remember seeing this movie back in 1989. I was very young, but I remember watching it and on VHS later on. It's a great story. So those of you who auditioned, I hope it all goes well and I hope you had a great audition. And I'm excited to see cast list tomorrow and see who's going to be a part of that production. So kudos to Harrison Stringer, Academy Director, and his production team on that show. Speaking also about our Academy, we always want to remind you about our ALT Academy Showstoppers. They, of course, are hard at work. They've been selling Palace Coffee. They are basically raising funds because they are headed to New York in February. That's right. They're performing at the Lincoln Center. It's going to be a great event. We'll have more information about that. But we always want to remind you, as Halloween events are coming up, don't forget to check out the ALT Showstoppers Halloween Spooktacular Concert. Ooh! If you remember last week, I was not a good ghost. My ghost hands were very jazz handsy. Ooh, my ghost hands. Anyway, it's going to be a great event on, of course, October 28th at 2:30 here at the ALT main stage. It's going to be a great event. So we suggested donations of $10. You don't need to make a reservation. Come in costume, the whole 9 yards. So make sure to mark those calendars now. And then finally, we want to remind you that there is a final work call this coming weekend for Chemical Imbalance. Lissa, of course, sent out the email on Tuesday to remind everyone about that. We're looking for painters, starting, of course, at 9:30 this Saturday on our ALT main stage. Basically refining the set. There's going to be some detail work of some stenciling and wood graining and There's going to be, of course, some additional aspects of adding, some decorations to the set, and putting books on bookshelves and all that good stuff. So if you want to help and you have even just an hour to spend, come on down, help us out. We will say there's a link, and you can always call the box office or email Lissa. I'll put up her information there, Lissa at amarillo.littletheater.org, or of course call her at 806-355-9991. But if you'll notice in the email that went out, there's a link there that please let me know if you're coming and we'll eat lunch. That's a link. We want you to RSVP through Sign Up Genius. That helps, guys, our amazing volunteers who are feeding our other volunteers. We want to make sure there's enough food. So we have to have you sign up and let us know if you're coming, at least in order to eat. So if you don't sign up, we'll still feed you if there's food left over, because we want to make sure the people who are signing up, saying, yep, I'll be there, we're going to feed them first. And man, I'm gonna sign up. I'm out of town, but now I just want to sign up for future references in case I come back early and I want to come help. I want to eat. Anyway, so sign up, help our amazing tech team bring it home and get ready for Tech Week rehearsals starting, of course, on Sunday. Okay, you are tired of hearing about me. You don't care about this mug. You want to see the actors, the ones who are bringing these characters to life. Not only do I have one, not two, but three fantastic ALT volunteers. We have today Zach, Michael, and Ashley. What up? I want like confetti and like all that great stuff. First off, thank you guys for meeting me earlier. You guys are all meeting me on a lunch break, so I appreciate you guys doing that. Remind us real quick, Zach, Ashley, and Michael, who are you when you are not at the Amarillo Little Theater, pouring your heart and soul, treading across the boards of our main stage? Zach, let's start with you. Remind us who you are when not at ALT.
Hello, my name is Zach. Zach Ohm. Sounds like home without an H, and I'm now undertaking a new position over at WT. So those in the area are probably familiar with what that is. I'm the newer Midwesterner to the area, but I am now ATD here at the WT, so Assistant Technical Director. So all the production stuff for their shows, I'm doing here on campus. So when I'm not over there on stage, I'm here backstage.
Nice. I love that. That's awesome. Michael Newman, remind us who you are.
Hi, I'm Michael Newman. That's what he said. I serve when I'm not up there. I serve as the technical director for Amarillo High and Tascosa High. Teach technical theater there, all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah. And what year teaching wise is this for you?
Teaching period. This is year 12.
Nice. That's awesome. That's so awesome. I love that. I love that. And Ashley, remind us who you are when you're not at ALT, which is almost always.
I wish. No, I'm kidding. Not really. But I'm Ashley DeVoy. I am a receptionist at a pediatric office in Amarillo.
Nice. Yeah. Woo woo. Now, you guys, of course, have all been a part of ALT in some existence before. Let's start with you, Michael. Michael, you've been volunteering at the Amarillo Little Theater. Gosh, was it 2007?
Yeah, I think so. Summer too. It was Oklahoma. Well,
Yeah.
hang on. Yeah, that was 2007. I have the poster up.
Nice. Yes. Which I love that you adorably call them your antlers, which I love that your antlers are the productions that you've been a part of for all of these years.
Yeah.
And I think I was proofing your bio, and am I correct? Is it your 36th show with ALT?
This is number 36 for me on stage. Yes.
I love that. Isn't that
with
amazing?
ALT.
Yeah, I know. And not overall, like just at ALT.
No, just at ALT, this is 36. I'm approaching the triple digit range, I think, with just overall.
Wow. So you've been a part of the theater.
Yeah, a little bit.
Michael, of course, also is an instructor in the academy, has been doing that for several years as well. Michael, talk to me a little bit about why, we'll talk about the show here in a little bit, but what makes you keep coming back and being a part of ALT?
Okay, to say it is a community theater does a disservice, but I'd like it's more along that first line. It's community. This is a group of people that, you know, they lean on each other, they depend on each other. I know attorneys, I know doctors, I know teachers, I know baristas. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a whole just swath of people who come here, and you don't find that uh, anywhere else.
No.
Anywhere else, you're not going to find, because you have these little clumps, and all these people, we come together to make art, and it's lovely. And you know, and one thing that I love, because I've seen theater all over the place, whether it's, you know, regional theaters in Dallas or community theaters in Midland, or, you know, professional theaters in New York or London. And, you know, we strive here, and I love that we strive here. This Amarillo Little Theater strives to make better product than what is expected of them. Like, we don't do community theater work, and I really love that about it, and that's what makes me keep coming back.
I love
Like,
that.
I love it. Theater's what I live for. It's my jam. So,
And I
you know,
love too. You've been, you know, leads of shows like in Pillowman and most recently, of course, Murder on the Orient Express with Hercule Poirot. But then we'll be in the ensemble of a big
yeah.
musical or whatever. Like all aspects of the theater, which I think is commendable for the type of performer that you are, which is great.
I love theater. I'll do whatever is asked of me. If it's important for me to be, you know, the dead body laying on the ground, I will happily be that dead body laying on the ground.
And you were a great dead body in
Much to my mother's chagrin, yes.
I love it. I love it. And then, of course, Ashley, you've been a part of ALT for quite some time, but this is your first time to be on stage, kind of on the other side, which is so funny because so many people, you know, for example, Travis Tidmore, who's the assistant director, has been an actor, and this is his first time on the other side of the table. And you've been on the other side of the table for so many shows or backstage costumes and different things like that. This is now your first time on the other side of the table on stage. So tell me more about that and why you thought, okay, I really want to be a part of the show.
Yeah, Travis and I actually joked about that, like at our first table read. We're like, hey, we swapped roles.
Yes.
But my first show helping, like volunteering backstage or whatever, was Steel Magnolias.
Magnolias, yep.
So that's not that long ago, but it feels forever ago.
Yeah.
But I've auditioned for several shows, and this one actually was not on my radar when you announced the season. I was just like, I'm not really into Jekyll and Hyde. And then the timing of the show, and I'm like, I'll just read the script. And I laughed so much that I'm like, I have to try for this show.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I did. It's amazing. My castmates, the production team, everybody. It's been.
I love it. I love it. And we'll talk a little bit about the characters you guys are playing here in a second. Zach, of course, this is your second show to do with ALT, and your first main stage show, of course, last season in Clybourne Park as Carl/Steve, that dual role, if you will. What made you like with this being your second show at ALT, of course, working at WT now as well. What made you think, okay, hopefully things went well in Clybourne Park that made you go, yeah, I want to go back and play with them. I'll throw my name in the hat for this one.
Yeah, I mean, so much of it is a learning experience. I mean, to echo just briefly kind of that sentiment that Michael opened up with of community, I wouldn't be at this job if it wasn't for Clybourne Park.
Sure.
Like, the people I met there, they passed along information and names, and so it's like so much of it is looking out for each other. Like, this wasn't on my radar, that wasn't on my radar. It was all just a shot in the dark, and it just kind of, yeah, it's all serendipitous at that point. But I remember voting for some of the plays after seeing Beautiful, and decided when I saw the announcement, I saw the Thursdays at 3, and I looked at everything, and there's definitely some in there where I want to badly, but I don't know timing wise on the year, aka Spam-A-Lot. I would definitely want to be there. I just don't think that time of year is going to work, and so I'm going to be there watching it. But as I'm looking and kind of narrowing down, like, I don't know about this or this, whether it's timing or just style, the thing that caught my eye pretty quickly was this play, because I'm just a sucker for Universal monsters, for that sort of 1920s, 1930s. And though Jekyll and Hyde is technically not in that universe in terms of the films. I've always kept it very close in my mind, and then I peeked at parts of the play. I didn't read it fully before going in, but I definitely could see the dry humor popping in those moments, and I was like, this could be funny. This could be very funny.
Well, and it's true. I mean, even our our play selection committee, when reading the script and stuff like that, I know it's funny because some people were reading it thinking, okay, this is this serious, dark, drama about Jekyll and Hyde, and they weren't getting it. And I once I started reading, I was like, oh, this is a comedy. That this is going to be the slapstick kind of. And once you understand that, oh my gosh, then rereading it, it just totally takes on a whole new form. Michael, were you familiar with Chemical Imbalance before? I know a lot of, or it's popular in this area with one-act plays, I know.
Yeah, it's one of those that's on my, okay, so every theater teacher has a list of all the plays that they want to do for one-act play. And it's on my list. Tascosa did it a couple of years ago, and I designed that right there. But I have visions for it and everything like that. And it's on. I love the script. I love the dark comedy of it. I love like same as Zach. I love the classic monster feel to it. It just, there's so much to it that I love.
I love that, and it's like I said, it's a title that people kind of are familiar with, and I'm excited that, of course, that it's a perfect time of the year for us to do it. That's why we picked it for this slot. Normally our Academy has the October slot and we get the December slot, but we flip-flopped that this year because we knew that this show would be a great fit for our fall kind of October season. Let's start with Ashley. Ashley, remind me, who do you play in the show?
I am Ivy. I am the Jekyll's housemaid. I feel like she's very airheaded a lot of times. She's just like, oh, okay, like
kind of goes with the flow. And
she's a lot of the comedic relief. Everyone has comedy in the show, but I feel like Ivy has a lot of moments where I would be crying laughing at her if I was watching the show.
Sure, yeah, I love that. And you kind of not giving too much away, but you're kind of the, I don't want to say narrator, but you kind of start the show off, correct?
I do start and end the show, so
yeah, that's fun. I love that. That's great. Michael, remind me again who you are playing in the show.
I play Cousin Xavier. I'm Dr. Jekyll's cousin and best friend throughout the show. I'm playing a bit of a fop, a buffoon who, just is trying to help Dr. Jekyll with his experiments and just failing utterly and miserably.
I feel like you're the right hand man, the Hercule Mulligan to the Alexander Hamilton, if you will. I cannot wait to see the chemistry that you guys have. Zach, remind us again who you are playing.
So I will be taking on the role of Henry Jekyll, aka Dr. Jekyll, and sometimes that other person. So I'm taking on that slash role again. So Steve / Carl. And now
that should just be a theme that you can only play roles that there's a slash in between.
I don't want to box myself too much. But yeah, so I will be the Lumiere to the Xavier Cogsworth.
Yes, there you go. Perfect. Yes. And which is also a role you played at one point, correct? Weren't you a Lumiere?
Yes, I was Lumiere.
That's right. I pay attention to my bios. I love it. Obviously the show, people know the story of Jekyll and Hyde. So kind of want to ask the three of you guys, why should audience come, if they already know the story, why should they come see this version of this show? I mean, a lot of the times people are like, oh yeah, I know it, I'm good. And it's like, no. You might know a version, or you might, know a classic film, or you got to read it, in school or whatever. But what makes this show different?
Okay, I'll start. I'll start. The easiest thing to say is because this is a comedy, and it is a hilarious comedy. There is so much going on. We're cracking each other up during rehearsals with some of the bits that get played there. And so, yeah, it is that classic Jekyll and Hyde story, but the twist on it is more like the funny kind of take, like, because when you think about the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, it's kind of hilarious when you think about it. Like, I'm gonna just mix this stuff together and see what happens. And
Sure.
oh, it turns out that it makes me a murderer. And you combine that with like, and Terry's been doing a really good job with us of that Victorian manners and the social life of the Victorian upper class, and just kind of slam those two together, and it becomes a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you have literally somebody who's experimenting with good and evil, and seeing how that comes about, and when things go wrong, I can definitely see where the humor can come out of all of that for sure. Ashley, what about you? What makes you think, oh, people should come see the show because it's different in different ways?
I just think that it's great for like all audiences, right? And I know you guys talked last week about like the younger kids may not get some of the stuff.
Sure.
But like your middle schoolers, your high schoolers, like they'll enjoy it. They'll find funny bits in it. But like grandma and grandpa will also so like it's that, and like different social classes too, right? Because that's what they're talking about in the show as well. And I don't know, I just, if you don't think you're gonna like it, like I didn't think I was gonna enjoy the show, but like give it a chance. Like it's surprisingly funny, and it's a great show.
I love it. I love it. Zach, what made you think, oh, this is a different type of show other than the comedy? Like, what other elements do you think people are really going to enjoy with this show?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, this is a well-known story that has lived well over a century, you know, and we've seen tons of different iterations. I mean, I think my personal favorite is like the BBC James Nesbitt series, Jekyll. Like, I think it's really fun, but it's dark and gritty, and it takes itself serious. But I think so much of those stories that want to take itself serious are just trying to dissect like duality and morals.
Yeah.
And I think those are great questions, but I think this show isn't interested in talking about that so much as more trying to put a lens and using real tropes of farce to examine class, to examine power. Like, I think that could be some of the fun stuff to really keep an eye on, because that to me is where these levels of humor kick in, where Ivy's gags go one way, but then I think they shift in a whole nother direction too. And again, it comes back to that kind of fun farce.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great night at the theater, y'all. We want to remind you, of course, the show runs October 19th through the 29th. Tickets are on sale now for everybody. We always want to remind you that first night, October 19th, tickets are 2 for the price of 1. Students are always 2 for the price of 1, which is great. And then, of course, we want to remind you we have a partnership with the Amarillo Public Library where people can check out tickets to the Sunday the 22nd or the, I believe it's Thursday the 26th production. Limited tickets for that, of course, but head on down to your library in case you have that library card and want to see the show, and you have limited funds or limited means, but still want to see some great theater. Zach, Michael, and Ashley, with this show, of course, it's led by Terry Wilson. Terry Wilson directing this production, her first show to direct on the main stage. She, of course, directed last season Significant Other, and then, of course, Calendar Girls 2 seasons ago. Michael, I know, of course, obviously you worked recently with Terry in Clue. You guys were a part of that production. Zach and Ashley, I want to remind me, have you, either one of you guys, worked with Terry before?
Brand new for me.
Brand new for Zach?
Yeah.
I ran Lightboard for Calendar Girls.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, again, another one of my backstage hats.
Right, exactly, yes. Michael, with you being directed for the first time by Terry, what's interesting about, or I mean, you've been directed by so many different people, and also, you know, have been a part of shows and stuff like that. What is unique about maybe Terry's directing style that you were like, oh, this is cool?
Terry's got a really clear vision about what she wants to see, and I think that's really great, and she's very open to communicate with us kind of what she wants to see and the way she's kind of viewing this, but not in like a very like strangling way. Like, she gives us all this freedom to kind of do the things that we want. And like, there was a moment, I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, she was like, I was gonna do something else here, but that's better. We're just going to keep doing that. We're like, cool, love it. And, you know, she's very very creative, very fun to work with, very open about what she wants, very open to let us do the things that we need, that we feel are good for our character, but also not afraid to be like, that's not working anymore. Don't do that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, that's so nice, having a director that has the clear vision of their version of the show. That's always funny when sometimes people will see a show and they're like, oh, well, I saw it done this way. It's like, great, that was great for that director, but my vision for this show is this. And so that's awesome. I could definitely see that Terry would have a clear vision for this show. We also should mention, of course, you guys have a great also kind of ensemble cast. Obviously, you three. We of course had Eve Reader on last week, as well as Jerry Tidmore. Other actors that are in your production: Treva Aller coming on board, filling for Lene. Lene, shout out Lene. Hope you're feeling better. We of course have Marley Hoggett, Rain Ann Burrow, Scott Royster, and Nels Bjork. And Joanna Kimball, I should mention as well. I'm sure you guys have had a blast. What is it working with everyone to create that kind of ensemble feel? Because you really do have to have an ensemble when you create, especially a comedy. How has that been for you guys, creating those relationships? I know some of you have worked with some of these people before. Some of you haven't, or they're brand new. Just like Ashley Rainan, she has been working crew for 2 shows before this. So what has that dynamic been to establish that great ensemble?
I mean, similar in that sort of experience where I'm real new kid on the block sort of thing. Like, the only person I think I knew coming in was Nels, because he had helped out with some crew stuff with Clybourne Park. So I mean, and hearing and I've seen a number of these folks on stage, watching the shows in the last couple seasons since I've been in town as well. So it's like I've seen these folks, but I've not had the experience yet. But it was day one, open arms, just completely bringing me into that space. And it's been, whether it's with me directly or me just kind of observing, you can just see the energy, the ideas. It's just ping ponging around constantly of hey, what if we do it this way, or what if we try it that way, or with some of the physicality, because it's a very physical,
right? I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but I saw some rehearsal materials to help aid in the softening of things that may occur, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, are we practicing for the Olympics? What's going on?
I mean, it feels like it.
Yeah.
At the end, I think I know I personally am going to want a fan.
I'm getting my reps in. I'm
Oh, I bet that would be hilarious to see how many steps you guys actually take in the show. With that too, Michael, with you, I mean, you probably have worked with a handful of these people. Same with you, Ashley. What is it like now to kind of get that dynamic and that creativity and that comfort level, so you guys can try things and take risks in a rehearsal period?
Well, I've worked with Treva and Joanna and Nels and Scott before, but this is my first time working with Zach, first time working with Eve, first time working with Rain Ann. And I think one of the things I think we did that was really great, and I'd never done it before the show, and I think it was a really great idea, was Terry kind of put us all in a room and we talked about consent levels, what we're comfortable with, where everybody feels. And I think that just really helped everybody kind of go, okay, I know where we're all standing there. So even when it's people that we've never worked with before, like, this is my first time working with Zach ever, and I think it's been like, I've enjoyed the hell out of that. And it made everybody feel more comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the best thing I could say about this cast is we're all real comfortable with each other.
Yeah. I love that. Ashley, what about you? What made you feel comfortable working with everyone?
I mean, I did know some people working from production team, right? Or having seen like them in shows. It's just being open, like, everyone cares about what's going on with you, right? Like, they just want you to have a good time and enjoy what you're doing. And it's so cliche. We say it all the time, right? That it's family, and that, those relationships that you create and form last a long time. And it's very different for me because being on crew or production team, I don't get to interact with them as much on stage or backstage, and so those little things that, like, I'll see video clips or pictures, I'm like, oh, I was a part of that. Like, what?
Yeah.
Now I can be part of those little things.
You have a cubby. You have a cubby in the dressing room.
You have a cubby.
I now have a cubby, and it actually has my name on it. Yeah. But I also really have enjoyed the what was I saying? It's gone. I don't know what I was saying with that.
But no, I get that whole the family and the aspect and the positive environment, of course, and you're doing a comedy. It's a lot of fun. So you guys can practice to make each other laugh and get that just kind of feel good feeling. We want to remind everyone also, this is an 80-minute show. There's no intermission, just kind of an 80-minute. Michael, of course, was a part of Clue. That was a 90-minute show. And sometimes those shows, I mean, when it gets on a train and it just keeps going, like, you don't want to stop it. You just want to keep action going until the end. And I can't wait to see all of the shenanigans and all of the physical comedy and all of the bits. I just remember reading stuff, on when we were reading the script to determine if it was something that we wanted to do. And I could already see in my head, like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for the dinner table scene. Oh my gosh. This whole section with the pigeon or with the bird and just the again, without giving anything away, the comedic portion of the show where somebody comes out on stage multiple times and you don't know which one or who they are, maybe of if they're a good person or they're a bad person of a same family member.
Never know.
So, yeah, exactly. Oh, I was going to ask y'all, do you think, just on a whim, if randomly there was a elixir, if you will, at a rehearsal that you took, what would be your opposite? What would be? I mean, I consider you all good people. I feel like when you take the elixir, it would turn evil. But what would be maybe your opposite, if you will? Zach, Michael, and Ashley, again, feel all of you are beautiful, amazing people. But I would just wonder, if you had the opportunity to take an elixir, what would be the yin to your yang?
You'd have to convince me to take it in the first.
Ashley's like, I'm not taking anything.
I think I'm with Ashley there. It's like, it's kind of what I think of the humor of this is like, I've devised this potion to make myself pure evil. I was supposed to sit there and like, and I think he even says, like, why would you even want to do that?
I love it. I feel confident. I'm like, if I take it, what if I'm like extra nice? And I'm like, what? This is the evil part of me? Like, oh my gosh.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I thought I was a nice guy, but apparently I'm an evil guy and I'm just turning nicer.
I think that'd be my fear is you come to after like, oh, is everybody okay? They're like, yeah, can you do that again? We like that guy better.
Oh, that's funny.
You guys, like, I'm missing the facial hair. Like, you guys all, like, I feel like one of these things is not like the other.
True. We should have a filter that we can just hit on Thursdays at 3 to add. Yeah, that's perfect.
I will say all of my students are just grateful I have facial hair for this show. I shaved for Clue, and it was like it was a whole big thing. They were like, no, we do not accept this. Leave, come back with a beard.
Mayhem. He's not watching, but there was a time where Caden Burns, I can't remember what we were talking about when I was in Mary Poppins and shaved as well. And I was like, well, sometimes when I shave, I look younger and this and that. And he made some comment yeah, but don't do that. And I was like, oh, did I not look good or anything? And there was just silence. Like he didn't want to lie, but he also didn't want to acknowledge the fact that he was like, yeah, you don't look good with that. Wow. Thanks so much, Caden Burns. And also a reminder, so sorry, I'm sure some people are commenting and all of that good stuff, and we cannot wait to see those comments later. But right now, since it is technically Wednesday at 12:45 and not Thursdays at 3 right now, we're not seeing those comments. But thank you for commenting. Keep commenting. We will respond afterwards on social media and all that good stuff. Zach, what happened? for
like
you.
a ghost, like
Yeah.
people from the
Ooh.
future.
Exactly. Zach, if you took the elixir, would it be just maybe you would not have a beard? Maybe your beard would be gone.
That was the first joke. The only thing that changes is no beard, but Kelsey hates that as well. Because like you, I lose about a decade when this goes away. Like
Yeah.
I turn into a teenager. So like when I was just doing a little cleanup under here for photos, I had left the razor next to the sink to go to rehearsal, and she was panicked. She's like, "Oh God." She only saw the razor, and so when I got home, she's like, "Oh, thank goodness."
Yeah,
because Flyborn Park, it was gone. But I think realistically, I'm probably more in my current form, a mixed intro extro, but more so I have a bend towards chaos. So I'd assume I'd probably inch more towards order.
Yeah.
And maybe I'd be into math instead of theater. I don't know.
Ew.
That's how evil I am.
You'd be a lawyer of some kind of,
yeah, right.
it'd be an accountant.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with being an accountant.
It's okay. My mom's an accountant. I can say these things.
Accountants are people too. I love it. Well, I really appreciate you guys. My final question for all of you is, as people are watching this and getting excited about the show, we talked a little bit last week. We build this as 10 and up, basically. Same. We did that for Clue. We did that for Murder on the Orient Express. We want to remind people do. There's a murder. There's some evil that's going on of somewhat. But what should people maybe expect when they come to see this show? We've said if you're looking for a great night, 80 minutes, you're gonna be in and out, but you're gonna have a great time. But what should people expect when they come see not only the show, but also of course the show at ALT, but specifically Chemical Imbalance? Ashley, I'm gonna start with you. What should people expect?
They should expect to see a dysfunctional family and their staff, along with friends. And yeah, it really does feel very chaotic. So don't expect to come in and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and watch this nice little order of a play. I say come more than once, because you'll be watching multiple people. You have to the main characters that are at the forefront, and then the background characters in the scenes, get a ticket for every night and watch somebody different. That's my
I love that. We want that. We'll give you a discount if you come every night. Heck yeah. Michael, what about you? What would you tell somebody that they're gonna if you're saying come see the show because X, Y, and Z?
This is gonna be a lot of fun. If you're worried, is it gonna be too intense for my children or anything? Look, my 8-year-old is looking forward to coming and see the show. He is excited. He's like, I want to go see what's happening. I'm like, and I, as a responsible parent, I'm like, absolutely you can. So if my kid can come, your kid can come. Everything's going to be great. And you are going to laugh a lot. And I don't say that in it's funny. We're laughing on stage. And, we've been in this show for 4 or 5 weeks now. And even still, we're like, oh my God. There was a moment last night during rehearsal that I'm not going to spoil, but we had to stop because we were laughing.
That's awesome. I love that. I cannot wait to watch. Zach, what would you tell people about this show and why they should come?
Well, I think the best reason to come is mostly in terms of the season. It hits. You want something that's not trying to overstay its welcome. You want something that's fun, but also fits that sort of spooky season vibe, which we all know is the greatest of holidays right now. This is going to hit that. But I think the best part about it is echoing what Ashley was saying, and that it's gonna deceive you right at the start. The beginning is a deception, because once that train starts slowly turning its wheels, it just gets faster and faster and faster. And next thing you know, it's going, and it's not stopping.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. So yes, so everyone get your tickets. Get your tickets. Chemical Imbalance, a Jekyll and Hyde play. Again, the 19th through the 29th. Shows are Thursdays at 7:30, Fridays and Saturdays 8 o'clock, and Sunday matinees at 2:30. We want you guys to come see the show. It's going to be absolutely hilarious, fantastic. Have we steered you wrong, y'all? By now you should trust us. You should trust ALT that we're going to give you quality entertainment, and you're going to have a great time at the theater. Zach, Michael, and Ashley, I appreciate you guys being a part of Thursdays at 3, even though we did it Wednesdays at noon. And all of you who are watching, thanks so much for being patient with us as you're like, what? This isn't live. How dare they? But I promise Annika will be back next Thursday. More Terry Wilson, the director of Chemical Imbalance, as well as more actors from the show will be on next Thursday, which will be preview night, which is exciting. A week away from an audience. I'm so excited, but you guys, of course, will be ready for that. Don't forget, if you guys can help this weekend, swing on by the main stage, but be sure to sign up on that link so that way Lisa knows how many people we can have our volunteers feed for lunch. And then, of course, a reminder that, or break a leg, of course, all those who audition for Prancer, that's a big deal to audition for a show. And so,
hey, I just found out my daughter's on the callback list. So I'm like, yay, good job, Shorty.
Nice. That's awesome. As adults, we always, get nervous about auditions and callbacks and stuff like that. And these kids, I tell you, they're just like, they're go for it. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, are they going to be okay? And sometimes they're like, I'm good. After, a little moment, they're like, I'm great. They get, or they're like, I'm so excited, my friend's in the show. And you're like, okay, cool. That's great. I love
I
that.
had a whole bunch of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory kids in my class, and they were just like, did you see that they were? I was like, yes, I saw. Obviously, I saw.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That cracks me up. I love it. Well, Zach, Michael, and Ashley, I appreciate you guys. Have a great rehearsal tonight. I will be there Sunday night to watch rehearsal and cheer you guys on loudly. And then, of course, be there all throughout the run of the show. Everyone else, get your tickets. I'm telling you right now, get your tickets. Chemical Imbalance. It's going to be
get them now, because after that first week, they're going to be gone because everybody's going to go buy them again.
Exactly. In fact, before I go, I'm going to show the cute little Raquel, our marketing genius. She's a rock star. Put together this little PSA, and then we'll say goodbye afterwards. So here's a quick little PSA.
Amarillo Little Theater presents Chemical Imbalance, a Jekyll and Hyde play, October 19th through 29th at the Alan Shankles main stage. Chemical Imbalance delves into the classic story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This comedic retelling of the classic dark tale exploring the clash between good and evil will send shivers of both fear and laughter rattling down anyone's spine. Call 806-355-9991 for tickets or purchase online at www.amarillolittletheater.org.
Good job, Raquel and Annika. Look at that. That's fantastic. I know 2 days ago, you guys took Globe News pictures, and so we'll have those pictures. Raquel took some great videos, and we'll have all of that ready for you guys. And we'll start looking for social media posts, all that stuff. All of you who watch Thursdays at 3, be sure to like and share, subscribe to us, all the good things. And more importantly, buy tickets now. All right, Zach, Michael, Ashley, thanks so much. I hope you guys have a good rest of your Thursday afternoon. We'll see you guys later.